And we're back. And this time, replacing Barbara in the guest chair here is Craig Bodmer. And Craig is a local weaver and writer. Am I correct?
That's right.
Right. And you came to the Terroir Writing Festival out of curiosity or because you wanted to further your own writing?
Both, but I had already enrolled in one of Barbara's classes, writing classes.
Okay.
And she talked about it, and it sounded great. So.
Okay, we're going to go back and let Deborah sort of pick up where she left off, which is talking about your fascinating job, but more importantly, I guess, how you sort of came to the Terroir Writing Festival in the first place.
Well, I went through the adult degree program at Linfield, and Barbara quickly became one of my favorite professors. I expanded my love of writing by taking a lot of writing classes and environmental classes. So when I saw the first writing festival, I signed up right away, and I was actually very impressed at the quality of the whole event. There were a lot of people that were there, and to me it was amazing as an event organizer myself to see such a big success the first time out. And it was a wonderful opportunity for myself, because writing can oftentimes be a very solitary endeavor. And to be around other people, creative people, and people that are successful in the writing industry was a real gift. So I was very excited about it, and I'm excited about this one coming up as well. And since then, I've continued writing. Barbara continues to be a mentor. I took one of her classes at Chehalem Cultural Center, got involved in a writing group, and I think it was a result. The writing group came out of the very first Terroir
It did,
creative
okay.
writing. It did. There was a little board there, and somebody had posted a note, "Are you interested in starting a writing group?" And so I wrote down a couple names and got in touch with a couple people. So we had a writing group that went on for about 4 or 5 months, and that was a lot of fun. But being around other writers is very inspirational for me. It helps me with my writing. It keeps me focused and gives me a reason to keep on going. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have a contract and you're not writing against a particular deadline, it's probably pretty tempting to just say, I don't feel like it, right?
It is, but I personally like to do a lot of research, and as a result of my adult degree in Linfield, we had to do a senior thesis, which was pretty intense, and you had to embrace 2 disciplines, and so mine were writing and photography. And so as a result of that, I had self-published a small book as a result of my thesis, and I'm interested in getting that published.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a publisher.
Yeah, I'm one of the things that I'm hoping to get out of this Terroir Creative Writing Festival is to engage with some people, because I was on the path to self-publishing. I'd gotten a really good book called the Indie Author's Guide, and I built my whole author's platform and did all this stuff. And then I met up with someone who actually was instrumental in purchasing a lot of my photography for Shemeketa. Said, oh no, I think you need to get who was in the publishing industry. And so I'm right now researching the pros and cons of getting a publisher versus self-publishing, and the publishing industry is changing so rapidly, and so the more authors I can come in contact with and hear about their personal experiences, I think it'll be the better off I'll be in making some kind of a decision.
Yeah. And so, Craig, you want to talk a little bit about your art and your work and your writing?
Well, I'm a weaver, and my wife and I have a little cottage industry where we weave blankets and throws out of alpaca. And we got very lucky in the beginning, and we now have retailers and design showrooms all across the country. And it's a really fulfilling.
Is it hard to get away from the loom?
It is, because it takes a long time
I'm sure,
to weave something.
A blanket,
so,
yeah.
But I love anything artistic, and writing is kind of a great diversion for me from that. Weaving there are a lot of constraints to weaving. For one thing, yarns have to cross at 90-degree angles, so it's tough to make a circle. And in writing, you can create emotions, pictures, sounds from words, from scratch, from nothing, and I just love to do it. So that's why I'm drawn to the writing festival, because it's such an interesting thing to do, and all these other people are also have the same mind and also interested with different perspectives. It's a great place to learn and just to kind of be involved in writing that way.
So, and are you involved in a writers group at all?
Yes, there are several of us who met at one of Barbara's classes are still getting together regularly and reading to each other.
Oh, that's amazing. So when you're sitting at the loom, I'm sure you have a lot of, even though it's work you have to pay attention to, I'm sure you get a lot of images coming up in your mind. Is that true? While you're working, you sort of think through problems that you might be having in your writing and
Yeah,
kind of
you
solve them?
obviously have a lot of time to think, although it does take a lot of energy to weave it. Amazingly enough, it seems like a repetitive.
Not making a pattern though. I mean, it seems like you'd have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to a lot of the little specific things about each toss of the shuttle, actually. So it's not like a free-form meditation, although there are times when you just can feel free to think and ideas bubble up, so yeah.
Like today, I'm just going to make a beige blanket. No pattern, just do it.
Right.
It's the meditation day.
Yeah, right, it is.
Beige blanket
it's
day.
meditative.
Yeah.
But did you ask me, what did you say?
No, I'm just, so you came as a direct result of Barbara. You came as a direct result of
Right.
Barbara. So obviously Barbara is truly the godmother of this festival in many respects, right? And how did you meet Barbara?
Well, I was Barbara's student.
Okay.
She showed me the world, quite literally. I took a class when I was a student at Linfield during Jan term, and we traveled to Europe to learn about expatriate writers who went to Europe to live and write and play. And then we would see each other. I more or less remained in the county in McMinnville, and we would run into each other periodically. And one time we talked about a writing festival. It was something that had been bubbling up in my mind. And then I was actually writing a story for a newspaper in Sheridan, and I happened to go to the Arts Alliance, what is it, a meeting, and
monthly meeting or something.
yeah, it was a celebration, like not a festival, but there was a certain purpose for the meeting, but it was very festive. And Barbara happened to mention, at the time she was president of the Arts Alliance, and she had mentioned that she was interested in putting together a writing festival. And so I went up afterwards and I said, hey, I've been thinking about this too.
That's amazing.
Let's
So
do this. And
the time was right.
The time was right, yeah.
Now, have you given any thought to co-opting these two fabulous people right in front of you as volunteers?
We'll take any volunteers, and people as talented and skilled as these two would be fabulous additions. But we've had a cadre of real strong, talented volunteers, but it's been a small group, and it would be great to have more people on board. It's a lot of work.
So right now, one of the things that you are looking to do is grow the festival in terms maybe of attendance, but also in terms of volunteer support and probably sponsorship as well, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to grow attendance. There is some reality in terms of how many people we can house at the McMinnville Community Center, and it would be, and it's nice to keep workshops small so that they remain intimate and not like a big lecture. But we can always expand.
So last year, how many people did you have attend the festival?
About 150.
Okay, and that seemed like a pretty good number.
It did seem like a good
Okay,
number.
good.
And we hope to be that strong, have strong numbers again this year too. And we are sponsored by the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County, and with support from the Cultural Coalition of Yamhill County. And in the past, we've had various organizations and businesses and individuals donate money to help support bringing authors to the festival. and support the costs that are involved with putting on the event. And
Sure.
we're always looking for other folks who would like to donate and help keep this event in the community.
So, and both of you have, you attended the first year, but not last year. Have you attended both years?
No, just last year.
Just last year. Okay, so it's probably hard to say, can't really do a comparison of one to the other, but obviously you both felt like it's a really strong event and one that you're willing to continue supporting.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it was great. Great fun and really interesting. Learned a lot. Amazing things that you don't even realize you've learned until 6 months later.
Both from people making presentations as well as sort of interactive workshops.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I know, it's always kind of interesting, like you go to one of those like arts and lectures type of thing, something like that, and you think, well, what's this going to be? Is it going to be really worth it? And then you go and you're like, so blown away at the end. You think, that was great. That was absolutely great. Even though, I mean, you have no idea really what you're going to hear going in, and somebody can say, well, we're going to talk about place, writing about place. But all the little details and things that come out of that, the ideas that you hadn't ever thought about, that you wouldn't even pick up on from maybe reading somebody's work. That's the part I think that's so amazing.
And I think there's real value, too, in that face-to-face contact with other artists or writers. You know, she can write something and I can talk with her about it and realize, she did that. I can do something, too. And that's one of the things that I always take away when I get to sit down and talk with writers. It personalizes
My
it.
challenge for the festival is deciding which of those 3 events I'm going to.
Right.
You can't be in 3 places at one time, so it's always, I want to do it all.
For like the morning and the afternoon
Well,
time
yeah,
slots.
there's usually 3 things going on at one time, or 2 things, and you have to choose one. So that can be a challenge.
That's a comment we got a
Right.
lot on our feedback forms, and I thought, what a wonderful problem to have.
It
We have
is.
so many wonderful events going on at one time, people can't choose. I think
That's really amazing, actually.
It is.
exciting.
I mean, do you have any plans in the future to expand it to like a 2-day thing so people could have the opportunity to take more workshops, or no plans right now?
I don't really know that I'm qualified to answer that question, but I think it's a nice thought.
It's
But
a lot of work.
it is a lot of work, and I mean, we would love to see it expand and grow, but taking things one step at a time.
Sure. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've got a couple of really strong advocates here. Obviously, you're out talking to people about this and people that you write with and interact with. Have you been out there beating the drum to get other friends to come?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Anybody who's interested, it's really fun, and it's surprising at every turn, really. Like I said, you meet so many people who are interested in exactly what you're interested in, and there's just so much to learn and talk about. So I think if the question about whether it's going to expand is going to be answered by how good it is, and it's been, I can't imagine it not expanding to fill the need,
Well, I really want to thank you both for being here, and obviously you, Emily, as well, and Barbara, who's over there as part of our studio audience right now. And real quick, you want to just run down the particulars again, the date?
April 14th begins at 9 a.m., is that correct? And information can be found on the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County website.
Okay.
And there's a link on that website to the Terroir website. Can I say that?
Sure, you can say, yeah, of course.
And in the past, we've had registration forms out in local businesses, so folks can keep an eye out there. But definitely go and check out the website for the most detailed information.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon at the festival.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.